Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Clover, and in today's video, we are back in Infinity Nikki doing our detailed outfit review on Crimson Feather. This is really exciting. I'm happy to be able to do this. If you missed it, we did our about like 180 pulls on the banner in our last video, and we were able to complete the entire set, and I was able to get the glow up and the first evolution of the set. So overall, I'm very happy with that. I don't know what Nikki's doing. Why was she doing that? But let's go ahead and jump right into the wardrobe so that we can take a look at this set. I feel like it might look better at like an evening, but we'll keep it in the daytime for right now so you can see the set like in its entirety. So first we're gonna just take a look at this full set and take a look at it in the different skin tones because I know that we didn't have a chance to do that in the last video. So here it is on the Passionate Banquet skin tone. This is just, again, the default outfit. I'll do this for all the outfits, but we'll kind of take things off piece by piece so that we can see like what's really here. Then we have our Twilight Reflections tone as well. And again, this is just the default outfit. This is what it is looking like in the Passionate Banquet skin tone. Then we have our Moonlit Snow outfit. This is what it looks like again, the default outfit, or just like the classic version of the set before any recolors are being done. This is what it looks like. So we're going to go ahead and take off the skin tone and go back to our original, and then we're going to go ahead and take off the set and slowly add in the pieces from the default set. So this is our Drifting Thoughts hair. So this is the hair from the set. As you can see, it's a really long, really beautiful hair, but unfortunately, I feel like it does not fall super natural in like a default way, if that makes sense. It just like seemingly does not fall very nicely. This is what it looks like with some other dresses. This is obviously Crimson Weather. This is the set from the 4-star from this banner. It just seems to like have a lot more gravity than I feel like it really needs. This is it with the new 4-star banner, the goddess dress. It's still a pretty hair, and I think it really does work with something like the Sea of Stars dress, where it kind of needs a little bit of space here in the back. There's other dresses like here is it with the Wishful Rosa dress. Again, with these bigger, poofier dresses, it actually does work really, really well because it does need a little bit of, these dresses need a little bit of room in the back. So this is how long the hair is. It's probably one of the longest hairs I have currently in my closet. Just to note, here's some of the other outfits and what they look like. Fits really well with the shape of this skirt as well. This was from the shop set previously, but I actually have this dyed, so it does look really pretty with like the pink hair. But I don't know if it necessarily has the same styles going. But we also have it with this set, this dress. We just have a whole bunch of dresses. It actually looks really pretty with this one as well. So we have a few different options here. Is it with the melody dress from the previous 5-star banners? We have it with our previous 4-star banner with our 4-star banner dress. I just want to show kind of the shape of the hair with a few different dresses just so you can see like how it's working and how it might fit in with some of your clothes in your closet. Because to note, like when you take off the dress, it's still going to kind of sit a little bit out like this, which, I don't really know if that's your preference or anything, but that has how it is. So now that we've taken a look at the dress, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the makeup. And we took a look at the hair. So we have our Shadowed Feathers full makeup set, or this is the base makeup. And then we, of course, have the eyelashes. And we do have the contacts right here. These are crazy contacts. As you can see, they have a bit of a flame in the eyeball, and the flame kind of moves, which is kind of crazy. I don't think I have a pair of contacts that have any animation currently, as compared to like this one have like any animation going. So this for me in my wardrobe is new. I don't know like how versatile these contacts are, but that is the contacts. Here is the lipstick from the Crimson Feathers set. Very vampy, very pretty. And then of course we have um the full makeup when you put it all together. So this is just like all the makeup pieces all together. Ultimately, it's not my favorite makeup set, if I'm going to be really honest. Here is what it looks like on the Passionate Banquet skin tone. Here is what it looks like in the highlight reflections, and here's what it looks like on moonlit snow. So it does, in my opinion, it works really nicely on all the skin tones, which is great, but it's just not my favorite makeup set. But we'll keep it on for now, and let's go ahead and start adding in some other pieces of this outfit. So we can take a look at the accessories first before we go to straight to the hair, straight to the dress, I mean. So let's see, what do we have here? There, we do have something in the head accessories. This is like considered a head accessory, but it's the wings that go around her face. This is what it looks like without the mask. It's quite pretty, it's quite beautiful. We'll see what it looks like on it with how it's able to be recolored, because that is really important. Um, but it's still, in my opinion, a really cool piece. And it does work. Let's see how it works with some other hairs. This is the new 4-star hair that we just got from the banner. Here is what it looks like with, this is like a random 4-star hair from the permanent banner. Other ones, here's what it looks like if you had it with like the Wishful Rosa. It really does look, it still fits even with like Wishful Rosa. Here's what it looks like with the hair from the new 4-star banner, the goddess set. Like with that. Here's with like the Sea of Stars hair. Here's with the mermaid hair that we most got. I don't know how it works with that mermaid hair. Here's the most recent 4-star. More Wishful Rosa. Here's stuff from the permanent banner. Here's stuff. Just want to give you guys an idea of what it looks like and how it fits on all these different hairs. Um, because of course it doesn't work with many of them. But anything like long and kind of, full, it does, in my opinion, pretty well with. There's probably, oh, it looks really pretty with the swan hair. And again, with like the proper dyes and the proper colorings, I think this would look really pretty. But we're going to keep our original hair from the set on, and let's continue going through some of these other accessories. So outside of the hair, we don't have earrings, but we don't have a necklace either. What pieces do we have? We have a neck piece. Yes, we definitely do. This is the Crimson Tears neck piece. Again, it's cool, it's interesting. Not much to note there. We of course have these crimson, the feather remnant little glove pieces. They're really pretty in my opinion. I think they're cool. This is what it kind of looks like, a little dressed down, so it's not the whole set, so you can get kind of a good look at what the gloves look like when they're not like all covered up. We of course have the eyepieces, the Awakening Cradle little eyepieces. So these kind of go around her eye. For example, really quick, we'll take off of the hat so you can kind of see what she looks like with just the eye covers. Let's swap out the hair. You can see kind of what it would look like if her hair is kind of like pulled off of her face. Overall, this is a really cool accessory and it looks really cool in my opinion. Again, there's opportunities for dyes with this to kind of make it work with some other ones, but I still think it's an overall very cool piece and it's very unique so far for Nikki. I feel like we haven't seen something like this, but I'm going to put her hat back on. It's not a hat, but I'm going to put her feathers back on, so to speak. And these are the earrings from the set, I'm pretty sure. The Raspy Harmony? I think these are. Yeah, these are from the set. I wish you would just tell me. But these are the earrings from the set. They're just dangly, long earrings. Didn't get a necklace, I don't think. Did she get a bracelet? No, she didn't, because she has the gloves. Then we have this section there. But of course, we do have our wings. So this is what the wings look like just on. So without like a big poofy dress, there is like some separation between her body and the wing, which does make sense because she is gonna be she's gonna be just kind of like having the wings on. So if they were too close to her body, it would probably look a little weird. Let's go ahead and put on some dresses just so you can see how the wings will kind of fit around other things. Here's with their little dresses. But overall, it still does fit in terms of like it actually fits, but you'd have to obviously make some dyes and some adjustments. This is actually kind of cool with the wings, but it does fit out there at the bottom. Has this little dress, this dress. You can see like there is some ways that you can probably make it work. It's interesting. The feathers kind of like touch the floor. I wish that they had just made them like normal feathers that were coming kind of out of her back instead of like out of her butt. These are how it looks like with this set. This is obviously the dress that goes with the actual set, but we're not ready for that yet. Then we have our socks. Let's go ahead and take a look at our socks. These are the socks from the base set, and they're very interesting, very intricate. She's got these little gems here on the back. They're very cool. They're very interesting. They're cool. And then, of course, we have her shoes, the Fringe Realm shoes. These are, again, a platform very similar to the mermaid shoes in terms of like the height of them. Just another very large platform shoe. This is what they look like. Shoes for you so you can get a good look at them. They're very sharp, they're very crazy, and but I do like them. I think they're really nice. You could make Nikki could like work, we could make Nikki into a working girl with these shoes. But those are her little pleasers. They literally look like pleasers, which is actually really funny. So that we've taken a look at those little pieces. We're gonna go ahead and take a look at now our rings. No, we have nothing there, and nothing in the bag section. I think we have our full set on. Let's just go ahead and throw on our full set just to make sure. And now she has her full set on. So this is the entire suit all together in the basic outfit. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the first evolution. So the first evolution is this one right here, the Crimson Feather Ember set. Again, we can go ahead and do a quick zoom. As you can see, she has her halo, she has her wings around her ears, she has the facial piece, her gloves dye, she has her dress, of course, and of course she has some shoes under. But here are her shoes and her socks that are hiding underneath. And of course she has this like very ombre looking hair, which is interesting. But that's what it looks like. And we can go ahead and change the skin tones. So we can take a look in what it looks like in Passionate Bouquet, Banquet, what it looks like in Passionate Banquet. It can the lighting as well. You would like to see that as well. And this is Twilight Reflection. And this, of course, is. It looks really beautiful in the nighttime, in my opinion. I love it. In the daytime, it's pretty still, but in the nighttime, it obviously really shines. But that was the second evolution. So now we're going to go straight into the glow up outfit. And this is the one that we will be taking a look at some of the dyes for. We'll be taking a look at the original outfit first, just because I assume most people, if you're pulling most likely for the original outfit and maybe the first evolution because you get that one. But here is the glow up, which is, in my opinion, my favorite outfit of the trio. Here is her halo. Here is her back accessories. Here's what she looks like from the back. Here's her long blonde, beautiful hair. Here's her little wings. And of course, the socks and the shoes right here. Beautiful. We're going to just take her to nighttime. Let's just see it under the moon. Put her into dress. So now that we've seen her there, we're going to go ahead and take a look at it in the other skin tones as well, just so you can picture what it might look like on your Nikki. So of course, here's Passionate Bouquet, Passionate Banquet. Here is Twilight Reflection. And here is Daytime as well. So Twilight Reflection and also Passionate Banquet. So that's all three skin tones with the glow up. And now we're going to go ahead and jump into the dye feature, which is what I'm very excited about. So we're going to put her in the default outfit. I'm going to back into down. And let's go ahead and see what are the dyeable areas. What can we do with just the base outfit? Click dye. So we have all of these free colors unlocked. So we're currently coloring the hair, I'm sure. Yeah, we're currently coloring the hair. So this is the default hair, of course, and these are all of the what it looks like with some of the free palettes. And really pretty actually with these free palettes. You can of course adjust glossiness, do whatever you want with that. We have some green. We can dye it into blue. We can dye it into a deeper blue. We can dye it into another blue. We have some purple options. We have kind of a, more, this is literally Sailor Pluto's hair. This is the perfect hair for a Sailor Pluto cosplay. We have some other ones. I'm just going through the free palettes first and then take a look at the other palettes. So now we go into the ones you have to go ahead and pay for. This is the Chimicata's Murmur. This is like a very lemony color. These colors I've noticed don't show up the best in the open world, unfortunately. These blonde colors, they don't show up as well, but we can go ahead. Oh, this is very Pluto, this hair color. Colors as well. So can go ahead and blues. This is again just for the default hair. The dyes will all, of course, look different on each of them. You actually can make it a little brighter pink. You can, of course, make the hair black, which is really nice. Go ahead and bring it into daylight so we can see the black. You can kind of get it into a really dark color, but this is seemingly only for the default hair. We unlock different evolution, different colors for different pieces and parts, which is very interesting. Of course, you can do all different colors. There's a whole lot of different options that you have here for this, but I would like to back into eyes. There we go. So this is again just for the default dress, and now we're going to go ahead and dye the default dress. So the weird part is, so the dress and the hair do not have the same palettes unlocked, which is really funny. Like you see, like I can't dye this pink because I don't have this second evolution. But I can dye, yeah, the hair pink, which is really weird. So let's go ahead and take a look at all the dyeable areas in some of these light colors. So these are again in the default palettes that are unlocked without any again, colors, some blues, purples. These ones kind of aren't really showing. And then down here are some that you would have to spend for, but some brighter colors as well. Again, just on default. So can't really see it fully because we are getting covered by the this is the purple that's similar to the first evolution. There's more. This purple palette looks exactly the same as this one. Like, why did they have to give us these two purple palettes instead of just giving us like pink? Like, they could have given us one of these pink palettes and like not locked them both behind the second evolution. But that's something to note. You can't dye it pink. Kind of. This is kind of pink. And of course, you can dye the whole thing white. But as we'll see, if you want like a true white color for this, you would probably want to go with the glow up, which thankfully the glow up is, again, it's not unlocked behind anything but in-game currency that you'd have to earn or grind for, which is great. So that was the how the dress dyes. Now let's take a look at the wings. Where are our wings? Yes, they're in our wings category. And these are the wings. So you can't really see them fully. We're going to go ahead and take the hair off up so we can actually just get into the wing. We don't want to. Let's start dyeing these wings. So we're going to select all, and again, just go through. This is just for the default. Again, every single one is going to dye different. I will be showing the glow up dyes as well because it's like a much lighter and more uniform color. So here's some colors. As you can see, it's got a whole lot of depth to it, so it's kind of hard to get some uniform colors here. This literally is like the glow up. Basically what the glow up looks like. We have these, you've got some purples, some, again, very similar purples. Some like kind of pink, but not really pinks, unfortunately. This is kind of pink, but it's kind of not. And then thankfully they did give us the white. This is just, I think all you need is the first evolution to get white. There's white. That was the wings for the default. We will be continuing to dye them because we're going to dye the glow up. That's the one that I'm going to be choosing to dye. Then everything else is here. Here is glow dyeable. We're going to dye the other piece. We're going to dye the halo because this is another really cool piece to dye. Again, with this, you're not able to dye the actual particle effects. I think that will have to come with later evolution. Um, but this is what the how much you can kind of dye a little bit of it. It's unfortunate that you have to do so many pulls and then it still doesn't allow you to dye the effects. I think that's so unfortunate. It doesn't, even if it didn't like give you the option to dye them directly, like it just corresponded to the color you're choosing to dye your halo in, I think that still would have been a better option than just not giving you the option at all. Like Life Makeover always allows you to dye effects regardless of what you've done with the outfit, because it's like, why would you only allow people to dye effects if they've finalized the entire outfit? I feel like it's just really greedy on like the Enfold team's part, because it's like it's already not it's not cheap to get the full 5-star outfit, but then they like almost force you to get the final evolution if you want to actually customize it in any way. Um because like this isn't really true customization what we're doing here, because it's like you're just like kind of throwing a color over top of it. It's like not even really working. But that looks pretty. But that was the halo. I'll stop ranting about that. Let's take a look at these face pieces. This beautiful, beautiful piece right here on the front. So we're going to select all and again go in with some of our free palettes just so you guys can see this would not cost any of your crystals or whatever they're called. Here's green or green. Like these two palettes, are these not the exact like same palette almost? Like with one shade different? They give us two greens, two purples, but why can't they give us one of the pink palettes? Like they could have easily given us like this pink, even though it doesn't look great. But they could have given us one of these pinks, because it's like, of course, yeah, they're gonna lock black, of course, but you know, they didn't lock white, which is actually really, I'm so grateful that they didn't lock white, because this was pretty much the reason why I decided to pull on it, is that we did have the white option. So that is what the dress, the little ear pieces look like. That was kind of like most of the dyeable pieces in this. We're gonna go ahead and switch over to the glove where I can actually do the dye and showcase the dye that I wanted to showcase. So let's go ahead and jump right into the dye system. So you can select all areas and you can actually make them all white. And let's go ahead and check what it looks like. You can actually make the dress pretty white, which is really nice. Like this actually is white. And this does require the glow up and it does require the first evolution. But if you have the outfit completed, you are most likely going to be able to get that first evolution. I wasn't. I pulled my full outfit in 170 pulls, so I did have to do an extra 10 pull to get this unlocked. But then you would have to spend 12 to unlock this palette, 12 of your 5-star palettes, which we will go ahead and see how expensive it's going to be to color the entire thing the color we want it to in the end. So we're going to just wait for the shoes and all that stuff, and then we're going to go straight into the halo. It's already kind of a white color, but we can kind of even make it a little lighter. It still has, again, the blue effects now, which, you know, is annoying, but we're unable to do anything about that. We're going to go ahead and dye this, select every piece that I can, and bring them white. So we just have like a very angelic look to it. We can, of course, dye the earrings as well. We're going to select all and make them white. Ooh, interesting. You are not able to dye those gems. Those gems are always going to stay blue. Really annoying. I hate that Infinity Nikki does this for like every set where you cannot dye. Like the blue, like certain gems are not able to be dyed. We're just going to take the earrings off. The earrings are going to go off and we'll figure out a different earring to do, because that's not what I want. And let's go ahead and take a look at the neck piece. How are you able to dye this? We're going to go to white. And again, there is a gem that is not able to be dyed, which is just laughable. It is so laughable that you cannot dye the gem. Like, why does the gem not want to dye? Like, I can't make this set fully white. Like, why is there a little blue gem there? So, what do? We take off the gem. The gem comes off and we'll figure something else out. And we go with the wrists. And let's go ahead and see what these can do with white. So these can go fully white, which is nice that we do have another little white piece to go along with our wings, our wing eyes, and that. This still looks really pretty overall. And we can go ahead and go back. Let's see how our mask dies. Can we get the mask to be all white? Yes, so the mask will go completely white, which is really beautiful. But I think for now, because I like the angelic look, we're going to take the mask off. I like it better so we can actually see some of Nikki. Um, I like the mask, but I think it's going to be really pretty without the mask. So we're going to take off the mask and we're going to go ahead and select all of this dyeable area and go white. So now we have the white wings, which the white wings on the white dress is a little bit hard to kind of see. It kind of blends in a little bit. But we can go ahead and see how it would look if I maybe did some different things with the dress, like added some different compositions to it. But it might look really pretty at night where you can actually see the wings kind of hanging out. But this is like what the set looks like all white. Then we're going to take the dress and switch really quickly over into the swan dress because that's actually what I wanted to see. How does the white accessories look like with the swan? Ooh, this looks really pretty with the swan dress. This is like how I have my swan dress dyed. I have it like all blue and pretty. Because I don't think I can't dye my swan dress white. Yes, I don't have that unlocked yet until I get evolution stage 1, which is coming soon for me. But this is really pretty. This was what I was thinking of doing, like a nice pairing together that way. But that was the swan dress paired with it in all white. And let's go back to the daytime. Really, the God. There we go. We're back to the daytime and let's put on our dress again. Here it is. Oh, no. There it is. Okay. So it all kind of blends together, which is, we can figure out ways to do that in the future, but there must be like ways to add some contrast in here so it's not just like all stark white. Um, but obviously I just want to showcase the abilities as well that this has. And I'm just going to go ahead and the just for novelty, we're going to go ahead and see how the leggings dye. Can I make these all white? Nope, you cannot make these all white. There is a little piece. These do not dye. Or is that part of the shoes? Those actually might be part of the shoes. Let's go ahead and check really quick. Okay, yeah. So the leggings are able to be dyed fully white. It's the shoes that we have to go ahead and check now. So I'm not hopeful for these shoes because anywhere that there's these gems, I always just assume you can't dye that stuff. Oh, but Infinity. So Infinity Nikki can have the shoe gems able to be dyed, but you're not able to dye the gems on the other places. Also, like this area seems to not be dyeable. This kind of platform bit is not able to be fully dyed symmetrically with everything else. Interesting. But that's what the shoes look like in an all white color. You are able to dye those gems, which is nice. So that's that look. And let's go ahead and put on the dress. So there is kind of how I would style the look and how I've foreseen it. I'm gonna, of course, change up the makeup a little bit, and you might need a little bit of a different kind of this situation. But I think that this is where I'm gonna go ahead and hit dye. Let's see if I can batch save. How much is this gonna cost? This is gonna cost me 23 radiant prisms. So that's 23 radiant prisms utilized, and let's go ahead and just put on like a pretty makeup. Like the menu for the makeup like not opening. Oh, my game is like bugging. Let's get out of the wardrobe. Save the outfit, go out of the wardrobe really quick, come back into the wardrobe. We're seeing some glitches and we're also seeing some issues with the overworld, as you saw. She wasn't quite looking the way that I would have hoped for her to look. There's the Crystal Poems makeup that I saw, but instead we're gonna just put that on, put on an eyebrow, put on a little pretty white lash, put on these eyelashes. these eyes, these contacts, these lips, will set works pretty. We don't really have like any, she's not fully accessorized, but that's okay. There's ways to style this in the future, and I can add some accessories in the future. Like that might be pretty, or just some pearls. I don't know. I want to make sure I can showcase the abilities as well, but first we need to jump into the photo studio. So let's go ahead and do that. Of course, we are back into the overworld and there are issues. As you can see, although we were all white in the wardrobe, now that we're back in the overworld, you can see some like hints of blues that are coming out, which is annoying. And hopefully that is fixed in the future. Like, I don't understand why does it look one way in the wardrobe, but now in the overworld, she looks a lot different. I don't really know. I don't really understand that bit. Because like the wings were white in that wardrobe. They were so white in all lightings as we showcased, but now they're not white anymore. Let's jump right into the photos and check out some of these poses. Let's put some lighting on Nikki because she's a little bit dark. And let's see these poses. Outfit pose. So we have few outfit poses. So we have the, oh, it says the surrounding spaces too. Over here. Let's go right here. Boom. We're gonna retry that one more time. This is our outfit pose, one of the outfit poses. Of course, you can just kind of do that. You have some different options. You can take photos of her in like all of these different positions. That's what that looks like. I'll put some light back on Nikki. Dark. You can't see her that well, but that was the Ashen Rebirth pose. Here is Feather Harmony. Oh, this one is really pretty. Oh, she's like just walking forward. This is a very dynamic pose. She's moving all over the place. She's dancing basically. Wow, I'm like having to like follow her around. Nikki, where are you going? So she's just kind of dancing like out here in the openness. I can have her still face it. Oh my gosh, she's flying. Oh wow. Okay, so we have a flying pose. That's actually really pretty. So if you wanted to, oh, I'm moving Nikki around. I'm trying to go find her. Hey girl. Can't really zoom in on trouble like getting her over here. Gosh. Whoa, the camera is also like kind of bugging out. Oh, do you see that? What is going on with these like weird bugs? But that was that pose. It's a little bit broken. Where's Nikki? Oh, there she is. So these poses they're just very dynamic, which is cool. Ooh, this one's pretty, where she's kind of floating a little bit. She kind of moves around. I'll let her. Oh, she floats up really high with this one. Oh, that one's actually really pretty when she kind of like floats up like this. It's very weird that she's floating, but nothing happens to her wings. Like the wing, like how is she floating? Her wings aren't open. I don't understand why the wings don't just open. Maybe if I put the full outfit on, the wings open? Or is she just like floating around with like her wings not opening? Oh wow. So she's just flying all over the place. I can't really like find her, but that's really pretty when her dress goes down. And this is the last pose, the Everflame Gift. Again, having trouble, like the camera is like really bugging out. This game is so broken. Like why is the camera so, like why is the camera not able, why don't we have a mode that we're able to follow Nikki? Like with our camera? Because like this is crazy that, why am I looking at her back? She just like flies off screen. Okay, so she's just flying around, doing her little twirls, her little twills, which is really pretty, but like why am I like not able to like, she's just like, where is Nikki going? Like, Nikki, where are you, girl? She just like flies around like willy-nilly. Some of these are really pretty, like I feel like I saw her like right here. Like this is a really pretty, this could be a really beautiful photo. Seeing her kind of like fall and float like this. Very pretty. There's like an opportunity here with some of these. But that was all the poses. They were crazy and a little bit broken. But let's go ahead and jump into our ability. And then we will be all done for this ability. So let's set up. So instead of the mermaid ability, we will switch it over to the... Is it under floating? Okay, let's swap. Feel promise. Oh, is it considered a floating outfit? I don't know. Floating. Okay, yes, it's considered a floating outfit, and of course we can change it to any of our different ones. So here's the ability outfit. We can of course customize it again to anything you want. Grants the ability to hover in midair. Fledgling now claiming dies. That there are ability effects set up. So Everflame Nirvana. Set whether to enable Everflame Nirvana. This feature is only equipped when the whole thing is okay. We have some different options there. We can go ahead and check that out too. But let's save that as our winged hover. Current outfit has not been saved. Exit anyway. Click save. Boom. Okay. So she now has her new floating ability. So let's just do this. Okay. Oh. And now she's turned white all of a sudden? So that's how the floating ability works. She turns white for some reason. And she just kind of floats here. So she just stays right here. If you start to move, she will start to go down. Oh, and she will just fall. Okay, so she cannot like fly, so to speak. So then she switches into this like white form, and she just kind of is like that. So she's able to kind of float a little bit, if you see what I mean. If you just keep spamming this, her like wings will flap a little bit. But this is how she looks. She will just kind of stay, you know, if you have her, if you stop moving her, she'll just kind of stay in that form, which is really cool. But sometimes she switches to being like her black color, and then sometimes she goes white. I don't really understand like what the significance of switching between the two is. But let me know down below in the comments if you do know and how you feel about that. I think overall it is cool that she has the wing, that they kind of open up like that, like, and then she just kind of stays like this. You're able to just have her float in the sky and for as long as you want, I guess. I guess this would be cool if like you're falling. So say you're like falling off of a building, but you don't want to fall, and then you just switched. You would just be able to like pop up here and just stay wherever you wanted to stay before floating over to somewhere else. Then when she's in this mode, she'll swap to her black mode. This is very interesting. But that was the abilities. And I think we've gone over everything else for Crimson Feather. We went through the dyes, we went through the ability, we went through the poses. We've gone through just about everything for this outfit. Let me know down below in the comments, how do you like this outfit and how do you like the dyeing system and the features that come along with it? I'm overall happy with it. I think it's a cool outfit. I think it's nice. I think the dyes are again always lacking for me. I'm always wanting more from the dye system, but that's just the dye system, unfortunately. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed this detailed breakdown, please give this video a like and subscribe to my channel for more fashion game, Infinity Nikki, gaming content in general. I play a few different games over here on the channel, and we would love to have you a part of the community. If you want to discuss everything Infinity Nikki and fashion gaming, you can also join my Discord server, which is also linked down below in the description. And we're a very small, tight-knit community over there, so we'd always be happy to see you as well. But thank you guys so much for watching this video, and until next time, everybody, hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Bye!